Greetings. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Spirit Walker channel. I'm happy to see you guys here. So I'm sure that you guys have very busy lives as I do as well. But I was just wondering if we all know that there are some metaphysical aspects to being busy. There is a metaphysical consequence or metaphysical development that takes place when you are busy. There are actually two types of busyness. There is busy in terms of physical busy, so you see people walking up and down the stairs, people having several different, trying to do several different things at the same time and all of that. But there is also a busyness. There is busyness of mind. Is when your mind cannot stop thinking, when your mind cannot stop trying to predict the next step that you're going to take, or the next holiday, or the next thing that you have to do. The busyness of mind is worse than the busyness of body, so to speak, because it never allows a moment of peace to your mind. You could be busy in body, say for example you could be running, and your mind could be resting, or you could be swimming, etc., and your mind could be resting. But the busyness of mind is incredibly deleterious, it's incredibly dangerous. And we are going to see that there is a metaphysical aspect to it. And when we understand the metaphysical aspect to the busyness of mind, we will obviously or very quickly understand why society today prompts you to be busy in every step of, in every minute of your day. And you will very quickly understand that being busy is a trap. Being busy is actually, or forcing you to be busy, is one of the tools that the archonic forces use to keep you enslaved. And the more that you just bow to these forces and you agree and you acquiesce and you say, yes, I'm going to be busy, mindlessly busy, and I'm going to keep my mind busy also. The more that you do this, the more power you're giving to the archonic forces. And then at the end of this video, we're going to just talk a little bit about how can you improve your state of mental busyness. How can you be less mentally busy as well, which is something that it's just a few techniques, just something that you can do on your daily base, on your daily routine, and it can actually improve your life quite a lot, and it's going to open new avenues for you, new avenues of mind. Now, if you're not interested in soul evolution, then this video is not going to be for you. So people that should listen to this video or this podcast, they are the ones that are interested in becoming better people. If everything that you want to do in your life is just to consume, eat, have sex, and go to the toilet and sleep, etc. If you're happy with that, then that's fine. It's your choice. Now, for people that want to take something more out of this life, they will intuitively understand that busyness is not a good thing. Busyness is a hindrance, and these people will understand that anything that makes you less busy in mind is something that is beneficial. So let's start by discussing something that we have already spoke about in previous videos, That is, when you're busy in mind, what are you really doing? You're transferring your mental activity from the right hemisphere of the brain to the left hemisphere of the brain. Basically what happens is your right hemisphere of the brain is your intuitive hemisphere, and the left hemisphere of the brain is the calculating, the objective, the rational hemisphere of the brain. Now the problem is that, and if you have seen our previous videos before, you will know this, or you will remember this. The problem is that your right hemisphere, the right hemisphere of your brain, is exactly the hemisphere that gets in touch with the subconscious and the superconscious, according to Carl Jung's terminology. And this is the avenue, this is the pathway that you have to your higher self. Everything that you do in terms of improving your ability to understand that we live in a simulation, we live in a physical prison, and that we are spiritual beings and we can escape this prison. Everything that relates to that is done through your higher self, through your superconscious, directly to your brain, but to the right hemisphere of the brain. Now, of course, for people that are left-handed, then things are the other way around. The left hemisphere is the intuitive hemisphere, and the right hemisphere is the rational conscious hemisphere. So it's for those that are left-handed, things are just the other way around. But for most people, we are right-handed, and this is the way to go. The left is rational, and that's the basis of your conscious mind, the mind that keeps you locked into samsara, the mind that keeps you locked and very well chained to the physical reality, the physical, material, rational reality of day-to-day life. That's your left hemisphere, left brain hemisphere. And your right brain hemisphere is the mind, is the part of your brain that is the only part of your brain that can help you transcend samsara. So by now you have already realized why the archontic forces have created this society in which we have to be busy all the time. That's right, it's because when you have to be busy all the time, you are functioning out of the left side of your brain all the time. And this is the side of your brain that cannot access the higher self. And the archontic forces, they are scared crapless of our higher selves, because our higher selves are already 6th density beings beyond time, beyond space. They are incredibly powerful. They are they are co-creators of this physical universe that we see, and the archontic forces cannot handle our higher selves. Our higher selves are beings that are way more powerful than the archontic losers, the reptilians and the 5th density black magicians that try to keep us enslaved. They are scared shitless of our higher selves, and if they can isolate us from our own higher selves, all the better for them, for their plan. So the dark forces, they try to keep you busy, and that's a trap. That's a trap, that's a trap. It's all going to their plans. Alright, so now how can we escape this? The obvious answer is meditation. You don't have to go to a Buddhist monastery in the Himalayas somewhere to meditate. You can meditate on the train, you can meditate on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes before you go to sleep. Prayer is also a type of meditation, so if you're used to praying, that's also something that is very good. It's also a type of meditation. It's not going to give you the full benefits of meditation, but then again, prayer has some benefits that pure meditation doesn't. So ideally you would do both, praying and meditating. You can meditate while you're walking, like just as you're seeing people doing on your screen right there. You can meditate. You can concentrate on your breath. You can concentrate on the sensation of your feet touching the ground. You can meditate by, in the case of the people that you're seeing there on the screen, you can concentrate on the sensation of the droplets of water on your skin, on your clothes. While you're doing this, you are focusing more and more energy on your left hemisphere, on your right brain hemisphere. And the more energy that you concentrate on that area of your brain, the quicker access you will have, and the better and the more stable access you will have to that part of the brain. And that's your subconscious. That is your access to the outside of samsara, the outside of the physical illusion. Another very interesting technique as well is for you to try and access your subconscious on a regular basis. Let me give you an example. So suppose you lost your keys, you lost your car keys, you can't find them. Now, you may not know this, but what happens is that the subconscious or the superconscious, the right side of your brain, that part of your brain still remembers where you left your car keys. Because that part of your brain is not bound by your usual tasks. It doesn't waste energy, it doesn't use brain space in that you use in your day-to-day actions. That your subconscious remembers things from birth. Your subconscious remembers things from previous incarnations, for example. Your subconscious remembers things from between incarnations. So your subconscious has an infinite memory. So, for example, if you are in a situation where you lost your car keys, you can't remember where you put your wallet, you can't remember where you left the book that you need to read, or something like this. So then here is a technique that is going to be really very useful, and the more you practice, the more success you're going to have. So stop for a while, go to a quiet place, and pay attention to your breath, relax, and try to reduce the stream of thought. Say, for example, instead of thinking about what bills do you have to pay next week, just think about your breath. Concentrate on the sensation of the air going through your nose and then going through all the way through your lungs. How do your lungs feel with that air? Feel your lungs fill up and then empty the air, and then feel the air going out of your nostrils and back into the surroundings. Just do this exercise for a little bit. When you're feeling very relaxed with your eyes closed, then start talking to your subconscious. Say, subconscious, I know that you know where my keys are because you know everything and you have memory of everything, and you perceive things that I don't perceive with my conscious mind. I know that you know everything about things that happened around me, so I would ask you to tell me where the keys are. And you have to tell me and give it a time frame. So tell me within the next 3 hours, or tell me before lunch. By lunchtime, you're going to tell me where the keys are. You're going to look for the keys, you're going to remember, and you're going to send this information back to the left side of the brain, back to the conscious brain. And you're going to tell me how where I lost the keys, or where I left my wallet, or etc. So initially, you're not going to have a lot of results, because this is something that you need to improve with practice. It's like riding a bicycle. You're not going to do it the first time, maybe not the second time, but on the third time you will have success. You actually remember where things are, and the information will come back to you. And the important thing is persistence. And the more that you do this, the more you will be energizing the link between your conscious brain, the left brain, and the left hemisphere of the brain, and your subconscious brain, or superconscious brain, which is the right hemisphere of the brain. The more that you concentrate on subconscious activities, such as the exercise that we just discussed, the easier it will be. And you will realize that you will start thinking, like weird things will start happening to you. So you'll be walking one day, and all of a sudden you will remember something that you thought you had forgotten. Or you will be walking and you will have an insight that will solve a problem that you had and you were working on for weeks. And it's going to come to you in a flash. So all of these things are coming from the limitless processing power that your subconscious or superconscious brain has, or superconscious mind has. And you're not using it. You're not using it because society, since birth, pretty much, society has told you to focus only on your conscious brain. So you see, for example, young kids, sometimes they have invisible friends. That's the subconscious part of the brain creating certain thought forms and creating certain images. And what happens when a child says, Daddy, I'm just talking to my invisible friend? What's going to happen? Well, the father's going to say, well, don't do that because that's freaky. There's no one there. Now just go back to sleep. So since birth, pretty much, we are trained to transfer all of our activity back to the right hemisphere of the brain, back to the logical, rational side of the brain. And this is not an accident. This is not an accident. Our society has been trained like this because this is how the archontic forces have designed the system to benefit them. This is how the archontic forces are isolating us or separating us from our higher selves. So, for example, you can get a job, but to get that job, you will need to be very clever. You do tricks with mathematics and be able to remember things very clearly and rationalize things and be a public speaker. So all of the things related to the rational brain, the conscious brain, and that's how you go ahead in life. So it's almost like in order to get ahead in life, you need to stop using your subconscious mind. That's what society tells you. This is the nature of the trap. This is the nature of the trap, and we need to get out of that. We need to stop this separation between us and our higher selves. We have a way to get back in contact with our higher selves, the co-creators, We just need to practice. Don't be discouraged if you fail the first few times. It's normal, but persist and you will reap the rewards, and the rewards are going to be absolutely amazing. It's training, it's persistence, and the result will be you will no longer be controlled by the archontic forces. You will be able to, for example, meditate on a bus or on a train or walking. There is actually a type of meditation that is walking meditation. So you don't need to be stopped idle at the top of a mountain to meditate. You can do that by walking. You can meditate while you're washing the dishes. It's just a matter of practice. It's just a matter of wanting to do it. It's just a matter of persisting. And if you persist, humanity in general will improve, because we will be a little bit closer to breaking free from the archontic forces. So thank you very much for your attention. Please share, like, and subscribe, and God bless you all, and I hope to see you next week. Bye.